Whoa, he has trouble with the snap, and the ball is free.
Okay, next question.
I'm a horse football coach right now.
You know, it got shoved up, shoved it up. It got shoved, right?
Let's go kick some ass.
Spartan fans, welcome to another week of the Spartan Savants, coming to you from East Lansing, Michigan, also known as Dallas, Texas, and New York City, New York. It's me, Travis Winston, catching you up with the latest Michigan State news and college football and sports in general. How's it going today, Travis?
You know, it was a rough weekend, kind of, from the sports standpoint, but, we got a lot to talk about today. Positive stuff going into the new year, I guess. So, it is what it is, as they say.
That is true. It definitely is what it is. Willie, how are you cooking on the third day of 2024?
Yeah, I'm doing all right. Obviously, a pleasure to be here with you both. A tough weekend in terms of being a football fan for us, but between the last time we talked, the Lions did win a division. First time in 30 years, first time in our lifetime. Obviously, they had their hearts ripped out and got totally effed by the terrible NFL refs, the corrupt WWE NFL refs. It had to be in Dallas again. I'm still not over it. I'm not sure I'll ever be over it. I feel very sorry for the businesses in Detroit and the people of Detroit that got robbed of potentially hosting a second playoff game. But Lions got to take care of business regardless. It's on to Minnesota and then on to whoever after that. But exciting times. Coach John Smith's got the ball, keeping the ball rolling. Looking forward to discussing all that with my two esteemed colleagues.
Beautiful, Winston, beautiful. Yes, even worse, I actually lost two of my fantasy leagues as well, as Michigan winning and the Lions getting absolutely humble or just heart tripped out. So football was a cruel mistress to me. Speaking of that, let's just go right into some Michigan State football. Not too much to talk about since the last time we spoke, kind of a dead period. But Jacoby Windmon did declare to the draft today. Kind of a surprise for some insiders and to myself as well. A lot of people thought he'd be coming back. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Willie.
Yeah, that's a tough one to swallow. I just feel like unfortunately, his career at Michigan State was on a big what could have been. The injury this year was a killer. The suspension, I think. Well, I don't really know how many games it ended up being, but I feel like it was half the year or so. Showed some serious signs of potential. But wishing him all the best in the NFL. I think we always kind of thought he could play on Sundays. I'm with you, Nikki. I thought we were going to get one more year out of him. All signs seem to be pointing that way. Too bad, but they'll have to work on replacing him. Just wish that could have avoided suspension, could have stayed healthy, and we really could have seen the difference maker he could have been for us. Unfortunately, it was not to be.
Agreed, Winston. Agreed. Best of luck, Jacoby. Let me first drink this ice cold Coca-Cola before I get into some portal targets today.
Oh, you're gonna let Vis talk about
Jesus, dude.
Vis is in foul trouble early.
I don't. Yeah. Okay. I guess I'll go fuck myself.
That's best. Go.
I mean, I don't have too much to add, but Jesus. Yeah, I agree with everything Winston said, but I kind of thought that this might be the path that he would go towards a little more, honestly, more than you guys did, at least. And now, hey, maybe we get someone drafted this year, because I don't know if we really would otherwise. There's only a few other people in there. Don't know if anybody would take a flyer on any of those guys. And then the other thing I'll say is he would have been a very good stand-up edge rusher for Joe Rossi's scheme this year. We talked about he kind of likes to do that. I mean, I know we had kind of moved him off the ball, but he did have a couple multi-sack games from playing that edge position before. So it would have been interesting to see what he can do, or what he could do for a full season that way.
No question.
Yeah, definitely. I was actually, when you were bringing up the draft earlier, I was thinking, like, who would get drafted this year from our team? I
No,
guess
it's not a lot. Like off the top of my head is and
Brugman.
this isn't me saying people who would get drafted. This is who is able or is available to get drafted. It's like Mosley and Samac and Duplain. Yeah, like I don't even know after that. Huh?
Aaron Brule.
Brule did declare. Maybe he was probably the best option, honestly, before Windmon.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't even think of anyone else who was in there off the top of my head, and that's a bad sign right there.
yeah, that is true. But anyway, talking about adding talent to the losing talent, we have a couple more portal targets here. Let me know if I'm missing anyone. Cialis Bolden, he was a big receiver at Oregon State. Jonathan Smith's ex job, obviously. Tanner Miller, the interior owned lineman from Oregon State. He was also, I believe, second team All Pac-12 this year. And then there is Mr. Holy Cross, the other guy. I don't remember his name. I know he went to Brother Rice, right now, Meadmanson's backyard. And then there's Rod Hurd, the defensive tackle from Northwestern. Let me know if I'm missing anyone. Travis, what are your thoughts?
Well, first, I think Rod Hurd's a defensive back, isn't he? I'm pretty sure he's a corner.
I might have typed the wrong thing in.
I think he might be mixing that up with the Louisville
Oh,
guy.
you're right. Yeah, he is a defensive back.
Yeah. So yeah, he's high on my list, obviously. Think I don't remember all the accolades off the top of my head. Was he all Big Ten at Northwestern, one of the top defenders there at least. Big part of that defense. Obviously, you want the Oregon State guys coming in. They've got the leading receiver basically, and they're another all conference guy. Honestly, I know you didn't mention any of these guys, but I would say, like, just from like a pure talent level standpoint, I would take anybody from Bama except for that center that entered the portal. We don't need to be running our offense 6 inches to the right every play.
Yes.
Amen.
So yeah, and I do think bringing some talent back, like Vandemark and Harmon, those were huge gets. I mean, we talked about this offline, but basically, it seems like we came in the last second when we were about to lose those guys and talked them into staying. From what at least we talked about before and what we've heard. And then I just think one thing that we need to, obviously, O-line's always been a big thing. The trenches on both sides have been a big thing, but I think we probably could use another experienced quarterback in that room with what we have. I mean, obviously, there's people in the portal. You can sign people. There's a whole nother spring session, so we'll see what that happens. But that's just where we're at right now.
Definitely. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think Vis, you hit the nail on the head a lot there. I totally agree on getting back Vandemark, Harmon, and the other linemen. I think when it comes to line experience is such a, obviously size, talent is one thing, but experience is such a must have. So anytime you can bring back experienced guys there, just to at the very least beef up the room. But he's got a block for Childs. Someone's got to snap him the ball. So huge to bring those guys back. Obviously, Harmon really starting to show some signs of talent there towards the end of the year. Was really making some strides, I thought. In terms of outside players coming in, I don't want to get too much into end of this show segment here, but I think adding one or two more linemen, whether it's Luke Newman from Holy Cross, I think that's the name you were looking for, Nikki, or Tanner Miller from Oregon State. I mean, he's a right guard, like Nick said, all conference, played in 40 games over his 3 or 4 years at Oregon State. So I think those will be two big gets for them. Either one would really be a big get. And then Silas Bolden, I think, looking at our receiver room, I think we've got some okay guys, but Silas Bolden, he had 54 receptions last year, 746 yards. I don't think we had anyone even come close to that. So he could really be a difference maker, a familiar face for Childs, in addition to Velling. So yeah, I think, on a wish list, I would love, all those guys, right? Especially the defensive back from Northwestern. I'll never say no to more talent in the defensive backfield, especially how ours has looked over the past couple of years. But if you're looking at the wish list, another lineman, and I think Vissy hit the nail on the head with a veteran quarterback. I think they've got some time there, like you said. Certainly some things to play out still. Obviously, it's not going to be a big name guy, given that Childs is already coming in and kind of already been annoyed to the guy. But just someone to maybe push him a little bit, someone to give him some experience, and just kind of a safe play if Childs, God forbid, were to go down. Knowing our luck, who knows what'll happen. Just got to have someone reliable there to be able to steer the ship if things do go wrong.
Yeah, and maybe kind of the type of guy that could like possibly go into coaching and just be like kind of like another player coach in that room, if you will.
Right.
But yeah.
Yep.
Peyton Thorne type.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Right.
Maybe he'll come back.
Come
Who knows?
back. Yeah.
You just need someone who's at like an FCS school that wants to play in the Big Ten, that's started a lot of games and had a lot of success. Or maybe someone that's a MAC quarterback that has a lot of experience under their belt and wants to compete for a starting job, with an outside shot, that can really bring some value to that quarterback room that's very young right now.
Maybe like an all districts QB, 5 years of eligibility.
Yeah,
Year old,
I hate to say this name
maybe like
because
Cinderweller.
right, exactly, that's what I was thinking too. 60 pounds overweight, um, but I hate to. This is not exactly what we need. And I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on his name, but the quarterback from Temple that we brought in, Mel
Anthony
Tucker's.
Russo type.
Yeah,
Anthony Russo,
someone like that, like had some good
Yeah.
success at Temple, wanted to compete, came in, didn't get the starting job, but I mean he kind of was a screw up in the end. But something like that. I mean, someone obviously with a little had a better head on their shoulders, but something that caliber of a player.
kind of push Childs to be better than
Yeah.
what he already is and that kind
Right.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it'll be tough, obviously, because it seems like Childs is so clearly the guy that it's going to have to be a guy that knows they're going to be a backup, essentially, as you were saying. I do think Willie made a good point about Bolden being a familiar face for Childs. I think just having that familiarity in the system too will be just a great asset, assuming we get him. But I do want to put a little spice here and say I think that if we don't land Tanner Miller, that would be Jonathan Smith's first big flub as coach. I think he's in the almost must-get territory.
I would agree. One of those linemen, I
Fair
think.
enough. Yeah.
Just
I mean,
all conference at the old alma mater, 1 year of eligibility, stay in that same system and just
right.
in the big leagues.
That would be so big. From obviously Luke. I mean, Luke Newman is getting looked at by SEC schools, so I'm not going to try and diminish him coming in. But if all of a sudden you have Childs who knows the system, Velling who knows the system, if you got Bolden who knows the system, and then you add a lineman that knows the system, then all of a sudden you're not teaching 11 guys a new system. I probably talked about this before. You're teaching 7 guys a new system, and those 4 guys, Velling can help the other tight ends, Bolden can help the other wide receivers. That they'll help Childs be better, and Miller can help the offensive line. Like that just adds a whole different dynamic with guys coming in that know the system already. So I think, I mean, I'm not Coach John Smith, but if I was, I mean, I would be going after those Oregon State guys hard. And you know what? They were successful too. It's not like these are, nobodies. I mean, these guys are coming from having productive years with a good team. They didn't look the part against Notre Dame, but they also didn't have a coach. They didn't have a quarterback. So, they had a lot of things stacked against them. So, if they could bring some of those guys in, it might be too much to ask for Bolden and Miller, but maybe it's not. I don't know. Seems like there's a lot of smoke so far, but I saw USC was getting in on Bolden. So we'll see.
Too. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess next thing here, there really isn't too much more to talk. Oh, you know what? There is one more thing. We hired this morning, or we're targeted to hire as a defensive assistant, Indiana's old defensive coordinator.
Saw that, yeah.
I think that's a pretty good hire. He's good. He's a good recruiter. I don't think I know what his exact role is yet or what it would be. Were you gonna say something, Trev?
I was just gonna say his, former coordinator did good enough to get to a coordinator spot. He's just in this random assistant. I mean, it's not too much pressure or anything.
Yeah, the
Wanna
more
Yeah.
good football minds you can have, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is a good thing. I think, Nikki, like you said, I feel like Coach John Smith right now can do no wrong. Like I just feel like everything he does, it's almost making me a little uncomfortable. Like, okay, it can't be this good. I mean, we
Yeah.
went 4-8 last year. Like, we still suck, right? I mean, it can't be
Yeah.
this good. Like everything,
Feeling
like
too good. Yeah.
since they've hired him, everything, all the positive feedback we got just from hiring him. Then he brought in his assistants, and they're the best assistants in the country. And then he gets Childs, and then he's getting this guy and that guy, and he's bringing in recruits. All of a sudden, he puts together a top 50 recruiting class. Like
It's so
it
sick.
just can't be this good. I mean, it cannot be. It's never as good as you think it is. It never is. But I mean, fingers crossed, man. I am very excited so far.
Yeah, I think that's everyone's conclusion so far. Jonathan Smith's first month and a half or 6 weeks or so have been, hey, it's tough.
Yeah, all you could ask for.
I saw on Valenti they gave him a B. I feel like it's because it's hard to give someone an A without actually playing a game.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if we always
And
said you don't want a coach that'll win the press conference, well, he's won the press conference so far because it's better
Yeah.
than some. So
Yeah.
well, I mean, and those guys can be tough graders sometimes too. So
yeah,
Yeah, I think there's almost like a fear of being too
yeah,
overly positive towards Michigan State. It's almost like a little too critical.
they're very
Um,
conservative in what they're
yeah,
saying about it. Yeah.
very fair. So I guess stay on the football topic. We were saying earlier, a couple of college football games happened. The Rose Bowl with the Alabama Crimson Tide and the Michigan pieces of shit. And then we had the Sugar Bowl with the Washington Huskies and the Texas Longhorns. So that Rose Bowl, a pretty good game, I guess.
was a good game. Obviously, the outcome was not what we were hoping for. I'm sure you can tell by the tone of my voice that it's crushing. I think the frustrating part is Alabama had every opportunity to win that game, and should have. You know, I give Michigan credit for facing adversity and battling through, but they did not deserve to win that game. Outside of making a couple timely plays at the end, um, and making a stop, or like I don't even know. I mean, Milrow just lost the ball. Michigan, that how many times you see a muffed punt like that right on the goal line, that ball goes tumbling into the end zone. It never stops like that. And that guy was inches away from going into the end zone. I mean, they needed everything to go their way. Literally the ball bouncing had to go their way for them to come out of that game alive. And I mean, the Alabama center couldn't figure it out all night. Like you said, Travis, they were starting their plays 2 yards to the right every time. Um, and if you've played quarterback, those shotgun snaps, when they're off, it throws off the whole rhythm of the play. Whether it's a pass or a run, play action, you're so worried about getting the ball, you can't make your read. You have to scramble to get the ball to the running back. It's brutal. So it's just, I mean, you can see it on that last play. It screwed up the whole timing. And I don't know if that guy's in the transfer portal, but I would stay away.
He is. He is. He went into the portal this morning.
Steer clear of him, folks. That guy is a loser.
It was. It
Order.
was. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to hell when I die because this is a very interesting
How about
preview
the
right
Chuck E.
now.
Cheese?
I mean, this is it. I mean, the Michigan's playing for a national championship is fucking terrible.
It
I
is.
mean, I don't like this. I don't. I mean, we've talked about the arrogance and the entitlement and the holier than thou fan base type of stuff. And I mean, like, it's obviously we know people that were good friends with the family members or whatever. But those aren't the people we're talking about necessarily. There,
I don't know.
there may
I
be
think they are.
there may be a few that you know, but like I'm talking about like the ones that like we ran into on Saturday that were just
Yes.
being
Yes.
abusive. Like those guys we have like rivalry banter with and stuff like that. There's other people that take it absolutely over the top, and those are the ones that I take the biggest issue with that are just
Yes.
put me in personal hell.
Let me
I mean,
just
that's
let me just say this. As some of you may know, Travis and I were at the Lions game this weekend, rooting for the Lions fans. And I just want to put a public service announcement to all the University of Michigan fans watching this. That conduct at that game was just disgusting. Absolutely just heinous. The fact that we were all clearly Lions fans rooting for it, and Jordan, our friend who was also rooting for the Lions, was wearing a Michigan State shirt because he came from a Michigan State watch party. These other Lions fans were saying, "Little brother, go home. We don't want you. Like, you guys suck. We're gonna beat you up." And like every
yeah.
time we walk by someone, they'd be like, "You suck. Go home." It's like we're on the same side here, rooting for the same team. I didn't want to talk about the conduct of University of Michigan fans. Obviously, I'm going to because of what went down on that fateful Saturday.
Sorry.
It's just,
Yeah.
and I mean JJ McCarthy too, just with this, just
Oh yeah.
soaking it all in. Tee hee hee. Oh, the cameras are here. Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
I
a
hate
personal
that guy.
moment.
The
That guy's the
victim card
worst.
is so old too. Like Jesus. Like they're just like they're sitting there like you don't get to break the rules and just sit there and call yourself a victim and oh, we faced adversity. Yeah, you brought it on yourself. Like,
All
geez,
self-imposed.
it's so ridiculous. But to Nick's point, these people were like not even just like it wasn't even just like little brother go home and stuff. They were literally trying to get like start physical altercations and shit because he was wearing a Michigan State shirt at a
That's
Lions game.
unbelievable.
We were all Lions fans. I mean, it's freaking ridiculous.
I mean, leave it to Michigan. And it's so funny because so many other places you go, like I always think about the Cotton Bowl, Trav, when we played Alabama. The Alabama fans were some of the like very nice people, and we were about to play them. And they
Yeah.
were like, they would you just walk by, they'd ask you how you're doing, they ask you talk about the game. They would pretend like they were nervous. Obviously, they weren't. Offer you a beer. Like they were great. And you hear about Nebraska fans treating opposing fans great. Like Michigan for all of this, like high and mighty, like holier than thou, like how much respect they have for themselves, the way that they treat other fans
Well, it's
is
ridiculous.
like it's just not. It's totally opposite of what they pretend or like think they are. Like they're such a joke. And JJ McCarthy, I can't even get started. And I don't want to take away if you guys have more things to tell me about this Lions game. But his whole first of all, before the game meditation, where he walks out, he's the only guy out there. What he's not meditating. He knows he's sitting there with the cameras on him. He's just listening to his music and he's pretending to meditate. It's all for show. There's no way like this guy, he sit there in the picture soaking. Like, give me a fucking break. This guy has Russell Wilson vibes, man. Serious Russell Wilson vibes. I would not draft him. I wouldn't touch him with a 10-foot pole. He is a loser. He is a life loser. He will be Russell Wilson, but without the good years. He will just be
I
an
was gonna
attention
say.
whore.
I was gonna say you weren't saying that about Russell Wilson for the first 10 years. So
No, he's Russell Wilson of aged Russell Wilson. But he's giving off those vibes at age 20, 21. It's like the
yeah,
guy's a joke.
I mean they all give off weird vibes. That is just a weird freaking team.
It's a
I
cult.
mean, from the coach on down,
Yeah.
I mean it's ridiculous. And I mean the worst part is that I mean, well, I'll get to that in a second. But on the fan part that you were talking about, even Stanford at the Rose Bowl and Baylor at the Cotton Bowl the year before we were talking about, they were exactly what you were talking about with Bama fans. It's like only Michigan fans there.
And
But what?
one thing
Go
that
ahead, Nick. Yeah.
we are not bringing up is that we also, as Michigan State fans, had someone at the Bama game throwing things at cars. So
Also true.
maybe we're not that much better,
Yeah, but
but at least we admit it.
that's not. I mean, that's not. We're talking about like coherence. I don't know if coherence is the right word.
No, I think coherence pretty accurate.
No,
Yeah.
Maybe
I'm-
incoherent.
no, well, I meant like
No,
like
but just
like how the like where the hostility is coming from. Like,
just
you know,
pure disrespect.
that wasn't necessarily a hostility thing. That was more of a drunken dumbass thing.
Which is again,
It's crazy though. I mean, you guys are there to root
It's
for the
like-
Lions. Everyone's on the same team today. You know, it's like,
yeah.
give me a
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
break. Let it go,
Well,
bro.
And
Yeah,
what I was
agreed.
saying is the worst part of it is it's really hard to see Washington beat them, I think.
I was just gonna say,
It's
so
like-
they're winning, right?
I mean, that's just the way it goes. Of course they will.
I mean,
That's how this is. I mean, that defense, the way they set up that secondary sets up very well to shut down those deep throws that Washington loves to take shots with, because they got that whole shell in the back end.
one thing I will say is that Penix has dealt with the Spartans more than like any player in college football this year. Maybe he's tortured us for all these years that he's kind of like absorbed our power. He's like, this is for you guys.
He's gonna need to be fantastic in that game.
Better. Oh,
Yeah.
if he loses, he's going to be one of my least favorite college football players of all time. If he wins, all's forgiven.
Yeah, here's what I'll say. Couple things on that. Washington has had people doubting them since like week 6. Some of it warranted, but they have always come out with wins. Now you could say Michigan has had people doubting them, Ohio State and Alabama, and they were able to get wins too. But Washington has really stepped up, and they've won some big games, some close big games. And I think Penix Jr., when he is on, is the best passer in the country. So I mean, and I'm with you, Trav. That Michigan defense is no joke. That secondary is solid, and they play as a team, and that's really dangerous. But I think Washington's got a little bit of that too. If there's anyone that can do it, you know, it's a totally different offense than what they've probably faced all year. So, you know, we just got to cross our fingers that that Washington has some tricks up their sleeves, and we get the player that should have been the Heisman Trophy winner in Michael Penix Jr.
I'll say if Bama has any kind of offense that resembled Washington at all, that game's never even close.
Right.
I don't think it's because they just be scoring right out of the gate. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be
And
tough.
Michigan's got to clean it up. They will not be able to make those mistakes and beat Washington because Washington will capitalize.
Those special mistakes were horrible.
And then and then your point about winning big games, they haven't lost to a ranked opponent under Kalen DeBoer. So I mean that's huge. Who knows how well it's gonna go against the number 1 team.
They're the number 2 team. I mean, it's It's not like they're playing Liberty. I mean, this is a good team. They have NFL receivers, multiple, and an NFL quarterback who is the best passer in the country when he's on.
I like how we just talked about we're going to talk about the playoff games. We talked about the Rose Bowl for 30 seconds, just dumped on Michigan for 10 minutes.
Well, they make it so easy. I mean,
it's easy.
Okay. Here's some analysis.
No.
What the hell was that Alabama play call? There we go.
I think it would have been.
Everybody in the world knew that was coming, but
I think it was the bad snap.
The bad snap ruined the whole play. I'm telling you, there was a run pass option there that the snap totally took away.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I was just wanted to throw something out there about the play.
Quick question: that center over under 750 death threats.
Boy, I don't know.
Over.
Those
I
Alabama
don't know.
fans are
Yeah,
there's some crazy ones for sure.
I don't know how you get that far into the season and your center's still doing that.
Yeah, that was brutal. It
I mean,
sucked because Alabama's offense had been rolling. Milrow, I thought, really had taken a leap probably the past second half of the season.
yeah, yeah, he did.
Um, and it just sucked. Like they really couldn't get anything going offensively all game.
Yeah, I mean, we've all said we thought Alabama was gonna uh, Alabama was gonna run away with it once they got the ball back and were up that touchdown and had a chance to drive for, at least a 10-point lead.
Yeah.
And then Milrow fumbled that ball away.
The
And
game was over. I
changed a
mean,
lot.
Michigan friends were
Yeah,
texting me how dead they were. It was over. All they had
yeah,
to do was
yeah,
get a couple more first downs, really.
yeah,
If, like you
yeah,
said, even a
yeah.
field goal would have gotten the job done.
I
But
don't even.
no,
This is just making me angry.
I know it's I'm getting angry as well.
So yeah,
Oh yeah, let's talk about the Lions next.
no, that's going. Yeah, okay, yeah.
We'll get there.
Let's just get into the Lions game now.
Let's go.
We'll get into
Okay.
MSU basketball later.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, I mean that really sucked. I don't really know what more there's to be said, so I will let Winston take the reins here.
Yeah, I mean, I've obviously my Twitter has been strictly focused on this for basically since it happened. Um, I was in a bar. My wonderful fiance Ivy threw me a 30th birthday party and kind of turned into a Lions watch party. And the whole thing went down, and I'm just so distraught. And this guy is asking me, like, why did they go for two, three times? Like, why didn't they just kick the field goal? And it's like this tall, lengthy guy. And I was like, hey, Stretch, why don't you just shut the fuck up and leave me alone? Like, I'm obviously not reasonable right now. I'm not the guy to ask. Like, go find some other Johnny Needledick and ask him, like, dude, give me a break. Like, here's my take on on this whole thing too. If the NFL truly thought, if the NFL and the refs truly thought they were in the right and had nothing to defend, they would not be making all these statements. Like they may have had one statement after the game, but like now they're releasing videos. We keep hearing about it. Like they're not letting it go either. They keep defending themselves. So like what is more realistic? That the Detroit Lions are lying or that the NFL is lying? I mean, I feel like there's a pretty easy answer.
Yeah, yeah. I don't.
Because
That's a rhetorical question. No one needs to actually answer.
Right. So
your
like
best efforts reaction to it.
yeah.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Of course it had to be in Dallas. Like, it's like of course it was against the Cowboys. I mean this is
That would have been the only better, like more perfect place.
this
and
is the
then
price of doing business as a Lions fan. It hadn't really happened to us all year and they had to do something to us.
Yeah.
the price for a Pistons win. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, and then if there was nothing wrong that happened on the NFL side and on the ref side, then why did they pull that ref crew from the playoffs?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's just written all over. And then that video that they put out, of like reminding people how to report and stuff, makes it very clear that Skipper was not the one reporting.
That's what
Like
I keep saying too.
they're sitting there pointing out, hey, this is why Skipper was ineligible, blah blah blah. Well, he wasn't the one reporting, and you can we've talked about this before, also off the air. He when he runs onto the field, he doesn't even make it to the conversation with the ref to be in earshot for the ref to be in earshot for him to
Not even
report and
close.
say anything.
Not even
And then
close.
you see Decker and Sewell standing there. I mean, obviously, there's the video of Jared sending sending Decker over there, and they're both standing in front of the ref. They're not. We don't know what they said, obviously, but they're not over there asking him for a fucking barbecue recommendation for after the game.
Right. And you could clearly see
fucking,
Decker made the motion that you're supposed to make.
Yeah,
I mean,
and the ref nodded at him too.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
and Skipper did not even line up in an eligible position. He was an interior lineman. He was covered. The Cowboys would have known right away. Okay, they said he's
He
eligible,
can't
but he's
be.
not.
Yeah.
Like it's so absurd the hoops that they were jumping through to defend this, and I just there's no way that the NFL can be right. And what makes me so mad is there's no repercussions for these refs. Like, okay, yeah, they got pulled from the playoff crew. That means they get to go golfing early this year. Like, that's not like a penalty. Like, it is what I mean. It's probably for a ref at that level, they're probably a little disappointed, but like they didn't lose their jobs or to get fined.
Yeah.
Like an NFL player who does something wrong or like makes like gets a taunting penalty, gets fined like the next day, they get penalized. Like they get suspended very quickly. Like the NFL hands out suspensions left and right to the players, but the refs screw up and nothing bad happens. They're reffing another game this weekend in prime time.
Yeah, and I hate to kind of keep going back to this example, but it's like vacating wins after a national championship. Everybody remembers what happened.
Hmm.
Like everybody remembers it happening. It's not going to diminish anything, and it's not going to be a punishment that actually hurts.
If that happens in Michigan, that will diminish it. Let that be known.
What?
That is diminished.
Since you took it that direction, the the fact like this Michigan team, their only goal was to win a national championship. So even if it gets taken away, there's people are still going to remember
Yeah.
them winning it, and it's the punish whatever punishment comes down from that is not going to fit the crime because it's not going to hurt.
Yeah.
Worth
I
a
mean,
damn.
wouldn't fit that crime either, but I digress.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe this is something the Lions can rally around. I mean, they obviously can play with the best teams. I mean, they showed it on the road. They didn't play the best game, but they scratched and clawed. You know, I actually respect Dan Campbell going for two and just sticking to his plan. I know it's low percentage, especially when you're 7 yards out, but you know what? Like at that point, you're on the road. Do you really want to put the game into the hands of a coin toss and
Yeah,
potentially not have a chance to win the game at all? Or you can put the ball in your playmaker's hands and try and win the game from 7 yards away. So I don't even I know there's a lot of people saying he should have kicked it after the second try. I have no problem with the decision. If it was a playoff game, I think he would have kicked it. But
yeah.
we really didn't lose much by losing that game.
You're guaranteed a possession in overtime in the playoffs now. So
Oh, I didn't
Yeah.
even know that. That's
yeah,
great.
yeah, we both get the ball in overtime.
So
in
he
the
definitely
playoffs.
would have kicked it.
So he definitely would have kicked it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm fine with
But
it. You're playing
I-
for a 2 seed. Go for it. Fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, I like him getting ballsy and going for the win. Just at the 7 yard line was a little much for me, but you know he had made the call, and you know he's pulled it off before, and he did pull it off honestly. But
Yeah. One more thing before we move on. I'm sorry, Nick. I can tell you're ready to move on.
No,
The,
go
whole-
ahead.
the whole thing about people saying the Lions were too deceitful and they were like trying to be like that's what you
too
do.
confusing. Yeah,
Do you want the entire stadium to know that 68 is eligible? No, the refs already announce it before the play. So you're already at a disadvantage when you're going to run a play like that. So you don't want to just tip it off to the defense. This guy's eligible. We're going to throw the ball to him. We're going to try to throw the ball. Like, like that's how you do things. You got to be crafty. So the Lions didn't do some crazy, deceitful mind game trick that
yeah.
and if they did that's why the refs were confused, then those refs aren't very good anyways, because come on, these are NFL refs. They should be able to see through that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll add to. Did you guys see the USA Today little blurb about that stuff?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Game. That was funny. It says like for the Cowboys, it says, did they really win? Anyways,
Oh, I
they
saw
could go
that.
on a run as long as they're playing at home.
Right.
It
Yep. Spot
was
on.
like, yeah, and then I forget what the last part of it was, but it was like, did the Lions really lose?
Yeah.
So
That's true.
it was. I mean, that's a national columnist writing that way. So
Look, yeah, we need our Lions loss every year,
Yep. Gotta have it.
and I'm glad it happened now and not in the playoffs.
Yep.
And who knows? Dallas rematch is very much on the table in
Yep.
Dallas. And let's just beat the crap out of them, assuming that happens.
Mm-hmm. Heard it.
All right, so that's all we got there. Back to Michigan State, back to East Lansing. We're going to talk some hoops. Last time we recorded, I think was the last game we played, Indiana State. We were recording while that game was going on, right?
Oakland.
Was
Yeah,
Oakland?
we
I
were
thought-
recording in Oakland. No, Indiana State was
Oh,
on Saturday.
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
So we had a great win against Indiana State, quad one win. Feeling very good about that. And we have Jackson Kohler returning. And so I guess before getting to that, the game, you guys have any thoughts there? I thought it was great watching Hogard. Kind of seemed like he was back. Akins played pretty solid. Seemed like it was kind of we're picking up where we left off after the Sweet 16.
Yeah, exactly. Akins the past 4 games actually wrote down. He's like 10 for 22 from 3-point range. That's a lot better than what we've been seeing from him. I mean, practically 50%, which is what we've been wanting from him. He's 6 of 12 the last 2 games, so that's even
That is
50% there. Yeah, 14 of 22 from the field overall. Over the last 2, that is. And then, like you said, Bree Hogard finally looks like what we were expecting out of him. He's getting more aggressive, getting downhill. It's turning into more assist, easier flow of the offense. That they're running the ball out, or they're getting out on the run like Michigan State basketball is supposed to be. And even we call the last 2 games have been pretty good. He's 11 to 19 from the field. It's probably the best he shot all year. So there's a lot. I mean, we're getting those. We're coming up on conference play. We're getting those. We're on that streak of wins that we kind of needed, but it needs to continue into conference play. But I mean, there's a lot of positives to take away from the past few games.
definitely, definitely agreed. Will, any thoughts?
Yeah, I think you guys hit the nail on the head. Hogard has been finally what we needed him to be. You can see it in his serious change in body language, serious change in effort. The intensity is, and he's just a totally different player when he gets in that mindset. He takes over the game in a different way than like a Tyson Walker takes over the game. But when he's playing like that, I think that really opens up the offense so much more for us. They just got to keep taking care of business. I mean, people could say what they want. Indiana State's no joke. That was a good team, and they've won some good games this year. And obviously, coming off Baylor, they just got to keep the ball rolling. I mean, Big Ten play, they're 0-2 in the Big Ten right now, so they got to rattle off some wins here. But I mean, it would really be refreshing to see that intensity, confidence from Hogard keep going. I just think that he makes the whole team better when he's playing like that. And I don't think that's not some crazy analysis or basketball mind. Big brain thinking right there. It's very clear that he, like Tyson Walker is Tyson Walker, but he's not going to be able to do it if AJ Hogard is playing like he was. So really good to see. I thought that Indiana State win was really refreshing. It's but now it's time. You got to buckle back down. Got Boo Booey this weekend. So
Penn State.
that's not going to be an easy one. So
Yeah.
it would be nice to get a win on him at least one of these times here.
Yeah.
Penn State, I believe we're Penn State at home tomorrow, January 4th. That I'm not too worried. I think they're not very good. We should win that one. But yeah, that Northwestern game is at Northwestern in Chicago. I think that one is might be the first actual must win of the season. Like we have to win that game,
I would agree.
or else we're back to nerves. So if
Yeah.
we win both games this weekend, we're only 1 game behind Purdue. And I mean, we're so early in the Big Ten season. We can still not easily. We can still make a run and win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
All of our goals are in front of us.
Yep.
We had that early slump. We had the slump. It started off early, and I'm sure we'll have a couple down times too. We just got to keep reassessing. Got to keep the boat rolling. we have some positive and negative news as well about positive, as I was saying earlier. Kohler is supposed to be back by the Northwestern game. Izzo said he did limited practice, so that's great news. Any thoughts on Kohler's return, Travis?
Yeah, it just I mean, gives us another some more depth there. Guy that was making a lot of progress during his freshman year. He can stretch the floor better than Cooper and Sissoko can, and also, I mean, one of the bigger things there is, you know, you're not going to have Sissoko and Cooper playing as many minutes as they were. I mean, obviously they're still going to get in the rotation, but Kohler can eat up a lot of those minutes. And he's been a better player so far. He's a lot more brings a lot more of an offensive option to the team than those guys do.
Yeah, I think that you hit the nail on the head there. He's just going to see the floor a lot better. It will open up the offense so much more. I think I don't want to say they're total zeros on offense, but they don't give by they I mean Cooper and Sissoko. They just don't give us much on offense. And Sissoko, I just think is just kind of like sticks out like a sore thumb on offense. Like he just doesn't flow. Like he doesn't like I don't want to say he doesn't understand, but he just doesn't feel like the offense doesn't feel as open when he's in. And I don't think that Kohler has to come in and play 25 minutes and average 8 points a game. He just needs to be something on offense, like you said, stretch the floor, just get the ball moving a little better, open things up, understand what Hogard and Tyson and Akins are trying to do, and let them do their thing through him at times, and other times, obviously get out of the way. But I think that will be a big boost for us. At least I'm hoping, because that could really change, the dynamic as well.
Agreed.
Yeah.
You guys recall I did say Kohler was my prime breakout candidate.
Yes.
Really, I'm correct there, and he will be the missing piece, the missing key to the ignition. Right there. Vis, were you about to say something else?
It left. I don't remember.
All right, no problem. So with the positive, there's always a little bit of negative. We lost Jeremy Fears, so he didn't die. Luckily got shot. He's obviously out for the season. Got shot in the thigh. Looks like he's recovering, so good for that. But what are your guys' thoughts on the missing of Jeremy Fears?
It sucks. I mean, so obviously it's sad and weird story seeing that a couple weeks ago, like just kind of out of nowhere. But I mean, I thought he was really starting to make strides. I mean, you could see, why people thought so highly of him in the recruiting ranks. So obviously it's tough. We're glad to hear that he's going to be all right. You never really know how. It's not like a torn ACL, but you never really know how these things can impact people. So tough to lose him for the year, but I think not to try to spin it into a positive. I think it's going to open up Hogard a little more. Not going to have to worry about looking over his shoulder as much when it comes to playing time. So it's tough. I do think Fears is a real deal. I think he's gonna be a great point guard. So it sucks to lose him for a year, but we'll keep fighting.
Vis, any thoughts?
I mean, when he hit it on nail on the head there, it just sucks in general. I mean, sucks for the kid, sucks for the team. Right. You're just glad he's going to be okay. But he was starting to play really, really well.
Yeah.
Especially for a freshman. And obviously you just want him to get better and get back on the court, but it's a tough blow.
Yeah, definitely agreed there. I do think maybe it could be time for Holloman to really break out. I think he's one of our best players so far this year.
Yeah.
And now more time to shine.
Play fantastic defense.
Yeah, it's really nice to see because you kind of thought he might be the odd man out with all those guards. And He's really been a breath of fresh air in a season that hasn't gone exactly the way we wanted so far. I mean, things are looking up now, but I mean, 3 weeks ago we were all miserable. But he's been a bright spot for sure. It's been nice to see.
Yeah, for sure.
Agreed.
Yeah, God, something. I mean, I guess thank God it was just the thigh. I mean, for him, he's alive.
Hmm
I will say, if it was the foot, I would have so many bits about
Oh my God.
injuries. So, I mean, a little unfortunate. I mean, if he's going to get anywhere, couldn't he have done a little bit for content? You know, I mean, American podcasters out here. But yeah, so any more basketball talk here? Like, there's not really too much we can go on right now.
No, no,
We
keep the
just
ball rolling.
need to kill Penn State, beat the crap out of Boo Buie.
Yes, we need to
Easy.
continue. We need to slay the dragon. We need to defeat the devil.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, year 7.
Year 7.
Can't believe he's still around.
Bridge.
Wow, I
I
don't know
mean,
what year he actually is, but
yeah. So I guess that's basketball. So next, our next segment for the new year, what we're gonna do is we're going to do New Year's resolutions for the team. We're gonna go around. We're gonna do one football each, one basketball each, and then one personal. It can be like personal. Will be most than likely sports related, but if you guys don't want it to be, I mean, whatever, do it, say whatever you want. So let's go. New Year's resolution for football. Let's start with Travis.
a lot of ways we could go here. Obviously, I mean, it was not a good year. I am going to say they they need to develop the young players more. You know, Tucker brought in a lot of guys that were highly highly thought of in recruiting circles at least, and they just never really got any better from their freshman year to their junior year, whatever. So they really need to figure that out with this coaching staff because that's how you're supposed to build a program, and we're not going to get anywhere if that doesn't happen.
Definitely. Willie?
I think it's a really good one, Trav. I think getting back to the developmental style of play or style of program is the key for Michigan State. Mine probably a little more cookie cutter. I think there's a lot of easy ones out there. Beat Michigan, win a bowl game, have a winning
Yep.
season. How about a win versus a ranked team? Beat one of these teams. You know, I don't care if it's Ohio State. If it's Michigan, obviously that'd be the best. Oregon, um, but beat a ranked team. I mean, just show that we are still got some life here in this program. And I think if they beat a ranked team, the rest will come. So, I've got some like short-term goals. I would like to see some portal acquisitions. But big picture, let's walk away with a win over a ranked team this year.
Definitely. I was going to say just win games. But I'll go a little. I'll give a little bit more board of them. I think Michigan State's New Year's resolution should be to not get blown out, not lose by more than 14 to any team this year.
That's a good one.
I got a couple honorable mentions on that too.
Sure, go
They
ahead.
need offensive line and then score more than 20 points in a game.
Yeah, that would be a good
That
place to
that,
start.
that would be nice. Yeah.
Yep. Keep Aiden Childs healthy.
Yeah, less
Yeah,
injuries.
yeah.
Actually,
Mhm.
honestly, that should be it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's eat better, work out better, stretch more, keep your players healthy.
Please, for the love of God.
And that could also apply to basketball, but not just football. But yeah, speaking of that, what is your basketball resolution for Michigan State?
I'm gonna say they need to figure out the half court offense. The full court, the running and fast break has been working really well. They're still very, very stagnant when they're not out in transition for a lot of it. I think it's gotten a little bit better, but there's still times where they look lost out there. And honestly, it's been a couple years worth of times when they've looked lost on the half court a little bit. They've always seemed to figure it out, but it's time to figure it out now.
Yeah, definitely an early 2024 resolution. Winston, what's yours?
I'm gonna call out one man, and that's Jaden Akins. I want the break. I want the official breakout. I want him to reach the full potential. Because if he does, then we don't have to rely on a Hogard every night to bring the intensity, or rely on Tyson Walker to create all the offense on his own. Obviously, the way they're playing now, and Akins has stepped up a bit more over the past couple games. The team in general has, but I really, really want to see Jaden Akins become who we all thought he could be or still can be. That's what I'm going with.
Okay, so Jaden Akins breakout. I alluded to this earlier via text. I'm also going to call out a player. I think this one thing could go very far. This is going to be mean, but I am going to call it Matty Sissoko. I think if you just learn to catch a ball, like if you catch a ball like 3 out of 5 times instead of 2 out of 5 times, that will do so much. Like just
Catch
practice.
it on the first try without
Yeah,
bobbling it.
yeah. I don't know if it's hand eye. Maybe go to an eye doctor, wear contacts. Be a glasses guy. I'm being serious. Like, hey, if you can just get that a little bit better, we are. I mean, might be undefeated.
Mhm.
Like you. I know you're trying. I just think if you work on just that this year, Maddie. I've also never played professional basketball in my life or really like competitive more than gym class, but I'm telling you, Maddie, fix that and you're gooch.
You'll be surprised how far that will go.
Um, all right. And personal. What about yours, Travis?
Oh, okay. So I was keeping this MSU and
Yeah.
sports themed
Yeah.
in my thoughts. So I am going to say that hopefully I am not going to throw anything at my TV or my wall during these games because that happens a lot.
That's a
Very
great.
much. Very much.
What about yours, Winston?
Yeah, this is tough. I'm going to be as patient as possible with the football team in the first year.
Fair.
I've had that one too. Yeah.
My resolution that I know I'm not going to actually do is just take everything one game at a time.
Amen.
Just take a deep breath, enjoy the game. Don't let it ruin my.
Good luck with that one, Nikki.
Yeah, hey, let me tell you what's going to get broken, maybe even as soon as tomorrow.
That's gonna be a tough one.
All right.
I will send video if it happens on Sunday
Please,
if
yes.
we're watching. Well,
Boo. No,
depending if there's a watch party on Sunday or not. Yeah.
fair. All right, so those are the resolutions there. I think those are pretty good. I guess really the last thing we got here. Just got to cue the music, baby.
Time to cue the music. All right, NFL heavy week, obviously here. Was able to sneak into a couple college games for you guys, though. First one, we go to the AFC North, I think. AFC North? Steelers -4 at the Ravens. No Lamar Jackson. Ravens already secured 1 seed, so they are cruise control. So the Steelers are coming in as road favorites in this one, Travis.
What's the spread?
Steelers -4, sorry.
Yeah. I'm still gonna ride with Baltimore in that one. I don't have a good feeling about Pittsburgh right now. So
Yeah, I think the Steelers could win, but I don't think they'd cover.
Yeah, I'm gonna ride the Ravens. I mean, how often do you really get the chance to bet them as home dogs? I know they don't really need to win, but I just think that they're significantly a better football team, and Steelers are struggling on the offensive side of the ball. So I'll go with the Ravens as well. All right, potential big historic game here. The Jets travel to Foxborough to take on the Patriots in what could be Bill Belichick's last game as a Patriots head coach. I believe that Wilson will not be starting for the Jets. He could be out there after this year as well. The Patriots are favored by 2 points.
Yeah, I guess I'll go with the Patriots. I don't like that one. I don't like
Yeah.
that game at all.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, come on. Billy isn't going out with a loss.
I agree. I'm gonna ride with you both there as well. Um, all right, going to the NFC East, Philadelphia Eagles travel to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants. The Eagles are favored by 5 points.
Giants played them tough in Philly a couple weeks ago, so I'm gonna go Giants at home.
I think Eagles get right. Like,
I tend to think so too. I don't think they're gonna lose. I don't think they're
I
gonna
don't
lose.
I don't think they're gonna lose.
I
I
know
was
they're
just
favored by 5, so yeah. But I think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna take care of business. All right, another NFC North I'm sorry, AFC North battle here. We have the Browns traveling to the in-state rivals, Cincinnati Bengals. Bengals are favored by 7.
is Cleveland sitting people. Is that
Must be.
yeah, no, I'm gonna still go Cleveland. I don't know. Yeah, that's another one I'm not big fan of there.
can the Bengals still make the playoffs?
They
Remember.
they're 8-8, so I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm pulling up a picture right now.
I would say Bengals for variety's sake, because we've all done the exact same picks, I think, so far.
The Bengals have
The
been
Bengals
eliminated.
are eliminated.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go Cleveland.
All right, I'll play the variety card. I'll go with the Bengals. All righty. Now we go to the NFC South. I think this one may have some playoff implications. The Falcons travel to New Orleans, the land
Yeah.
of Nicky. The Saints are favored by 3 against the Falcons.
Yeah, I'll go New Orleans. I don't have a lot of faith in Atlanta. Haven't all year, but they've also proven me wrong every time, so who knows?
Yeah, I think the New Orleans probably should lose. I know that most of the New Orleans fans that I know say that they would prefer them to lose or just not make the playoffs, but I think for that reason they're gonna win.
All right, I will take the Falcons to be the contrarian there. All right, now we travel to the AFC South. Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Tennessee to take on the Titans. The Jaguars are 5-point favorites.
Yeah, Jags. Titans are not good this year.
I'm gonna go Titans. Jags have been struggling.
I am going to ride with the Titans as well. All right, an NFC North showdown. This one, a big one for the Packers. Um, the Chicago Bears are leaving the Windy City to head to Lambeau Field, where they'll take on the Packers fighting for a playoff spot. The Packers are favored by 3.
I
Present.
um no, I'll take the Packers.
I don't even know who I'd want to win this game. I guess
That's why I said tie.
a tie would be hysterical.
That would be great.
I'll go Bears, I guess.
Okay. If the Packers lose, are they out?
Yeah.
They
Yes.
really okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Bears so I can root for the Bears. I think Jordan Love's playing pretty good football, and the Packers with their season on the line probably get it done. But I'm gonna let my heart do the talking here and take the Bears. The Bears. All right. The Chiefs of Kansas City take on the Chargers in Los Angeles. The Chiefs will be favored by 3.5.
Yeah, Chiefs. I mean, Chargers are sorry, Jordan. Chargers are bad this year. Very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Chiefs. I think the Chargers just want the season to be done.
Yeah,
I have
exactly.
to agree with you guys there. I'm going to take the Chiefs as well. All right. Lions fans might have their eyes on this one. The Los Angeles Rams are traveling to San Francisco to take on the 49ers. 49ers are favored by 4. I don't know what these teams are doing. I heard that Stafford might not play. So I don't know what's going on there.
Stafford, Cup, and Kyron Williams are out.
Okay, so do the Rams want to make the playoffs?
Purdy is also sitting.
I think
The
they already.
Rams even want to make the playoffs?
I think they already clinched.
Oh,
Yeah, I mean they're either the 6 or the 7 seed.
oh,
They're
well,
they're
fuck do I
yeah.
know?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it comes down to whether you believe in Sam Darnold or Carson Wentz. So,
Ooh,
oh boy. I am gonna go San Francisco.
all right.
Why not Rams? Come on.
All right. I am going to believe in Sam Darnold and not Carson Wentz. I'll go with the 49ers as well. Okay, a big AFC East showdown. I think this is the winner of this game wins the division. We got the Bills traveling to Miami. And they are favored by 3 points.
Interesting. I'm gonna go Miami.
Yeah, same here. I think Vegas is begging people to bet on the Bills. The Bills.
I'll go with the Billies. I think you guys are right. I think Miami's the better team. I don't really like what the Bills have been doing, but I'll go with the Bills, New York's team. Okay.
The Bills are either winning the division or they're done. Like they
Yeah.
can't get in as a wild card. They're just
Yeah.
I think
done.
they can
The
get in.
lives are on the line.
Can they not get in?
No, they can't get as a wild card anymore.
Oh my God.
Wow, that's scary.
That is really scary. Wow.
Well, they're the 6th seed right now.
Okay, then what I read earlier was completely wrong.
If they lose, they have
I read that
64%
I read
chance.
that from an official thing. Yeah. Okay. Never mind. I read that from an
Okay.
official NFL article, but okay.
I am still gonna take the Bills. Okay. Let's see. That brings us to our last NFL game here. Of course, the purple people eating Minnesota Vikings are traveling to Ford's Field to take on the Detroit Football Lions, where the Lions will enter the game as 3.5-point favorites. Travis, last regular season game of the year. Obviously, then we get into the big ones. But what do you got here?
Lions revenge tour starts this weekend. Roar into the playoffs with a win. And then
Yeah,
we'll
after
see what happens from there. As
that game.
as someone who covers the Cowboys, I have to be very careful about what I say. So
Okay, well, I will follow suit with you guys there. I think Revenge Tour absolutely starts. If they could find it in their hearts to absolutely just demolish the Vikings and maybe have a lot of starters sitting towards the end of the third quarter there, that would be fantastic. As we head into the playoffs. Okay, the FCS 1A National Championship has the Montana, I believe it's the Grizzlies, Grizzly Bears taking on the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, I want to say. A bit of an interesting spread here.
2 for 2.
South Dakota State is favored by 12.5.
It's not that interesting if you look at no, they both have very good defenses, but South Dakota State scores at will.
Okay.
Just absolutely kills me. So I am going with the Fighting Zach Zenners and the Jackrabbits.
All right.
Sure. Same.
You know what? Montana beat North Dakota State in double overtime. They'll have a little bit of Team of Destiny feel here. I'll take the Grizzlies in this one. I'll take the points. Okay. Russ, I think I know where we're all going to go with this one, but the Michigan Wolverines and the number 2 ranked Washington Huskies will travel to NRG Stadium for the College Football National Championship. Michigan, ranked number 1, is favored by 4.5.
I just can't do it. Yeah, we all know what's going to happen pretty much, but I cannot say the words myself. So for those intents and purposes, Washington.
Yeah.
Actually thought about saying The M word. Ew.
Ugh.
No, why not? Panic, Michael. Michael, you
Michael.
get me. I know you listen. You better get
You listen to me, Michael.
Sonny boy, Michael. You better win this one, or I'll be
Yeah.
very disappointed in you.
Yeah. Let me think long and hard about this one. I will go with Washington as well. They just have to win. They have to win.
They have to win.
For my mental health, I need
mean,
the Washington Huskies to win that game.
Maybe we do a live Savants streaming that game now.
I would be down.
Maybe.
I'm all in for the live
It's
bits.
it's gonna go absolutely the wrong direction if Michigan starts winning that game.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah, but hey, yeah, I mean,
Good bits.
If I mean, honestly, if they do win that game, it's gonna be a very bad sign for the rest of the year.
Yeah, I will be in hiding.
Yeah,
Yes.
I might not show up to work for a few days. I'm kidding.
Might have to end dry
Kidding.
January a bit abruptly
Oh yeah.
if the Michigan Wolverines win there.
Oh man.
This sucks. I mean, this sucks.
Go
Go,
Blade.
go white.
But have a good time. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on the rest. Not Instagram. Follow us on best say the spiel.
Okay. Yeah, I guess we're on Twitter and here on YouTube, obviously, and all the places you usually get your podcasts. And yeah, we'll see you next week or Monday. Who the hell knows at this point?
Next show might be a live show.
Whoa, alert,
Yeah.
alert, live alert.
Uh-oh.
A name just got leaked from Jeffrey Epstein's list. Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, what?
Oh my God.
What?
Oh my God.
I always knew he was an Epstein disciple.
I always knew it. That was a joke, everyone.
Yes.
We're gonna get sued now.
Go green.
Go great. Go white.
Go white.
Can't mess with states. Legend division chills, baby. Green and white. Spartan dogs, we winning in the end zone. Chilling #1 defense all over. Big 10 undefeated, no trick, they ain't cheated. Green and white since 1855. Legends division champs, baby. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. That green and white got them feeling some type of way. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. Is it cause we're #1 you feel some type of way? Type of way, make them feel some type of way. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. Mr. Spartan dog is what they all say. And that S on my chest will stand for Michigan State. Dark West is a finalist for that Thorpe Award. Shout out to Pat Narduzzi, our defensive guard. Another 100 yards rush for Lane Ford. Put another 6 on the scoreboard. I guarantee you we gon' be ranked in the top 10. Winning over the University of Michigan. Shouts to Bullard, defensive captain. December 7th, 8 p.m. we bout to win again. Michigan State, Michigan State. From Charlene to Lucas Oil, we came to play. Everybody great, even our punter great. He's up for the Ray Guy Award, even our punter great. Some type of way, yeah, they feel some type of way. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. Mr. Spartan dog is what they all say. And that S on my chest will stand for Michigan State. Spartan dogs, we winning in the end zone. Chilling #1 defense all over. Big 10 undefeated, no trick, they ain't cheated. Green and white since 1855. Legends division champs, baby. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. That green and white got them feeling some type of way. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. Is it cause we're #1 you feel some type of way? Type of way, make them feel some type of way. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way. Mr. Spartan dog is what they all say. And that S on my chest will stand for Michigan State. Don't try to pass Trey Waynes or pick it off. Or Isaiah Lewis or Curtis Drummond, the boss. The whole secondary can't forget the nod. That 4-3 that we running, respect the squad. Respect the line, respect the line. Shalika who coming for you, that's 89. Marcus Rush coming for you, that's 44. And please believe we got Mr. Reynolds on those. Tackle bro, tackle bro. Tyler Hoover 6'7", ain't no stopping bro. Pinnacles and Mr. Jones, lay you out flat coming through the hole. Now we back on O. Offense, that's Spartan power. Watch Connor Cook throw it deep to Benny Flowers. He got all day, perfect passing. Shout out to the O-line, Mr. Travis Jackson. Dogs, we winning in the end zone, chilling #1 defense all over. Big 10 undefeated, no trip, they ain't cheated. Green and white since 1855. Legends division champs, baby. D'Antonio got them feeling some type of way.